Hello everyone, hope you all are doing good. Welcome to program Achievers Foundation class 8 and the topic is reproduction in animals. Okay, so today also we are going to discuss about single correct answer type questions. Let us see the first question. What is the first question? Which of the following terms is used to describe the mass of eggs of a frog? Okay, so in the previous video we have discussed about mass of sperms. Mass of sperms, male frog sperms are called as a Milton, and here he is asking about which of the following terms is used to describe the mass of eggs. Okay, so here the options are follicles, option B ostium, option C spawn, and option D both A and B. So let us see what is the correct option. Follicles are nothing but the immature egg cells in the female body, right? So this is a wrong option. And coming to the ostium, ostium is nothing but the pores which are present on the sponges. Okay, so this is also the wrong option. And what is the option C? The same wording is being given in the picture itself. Frog spawn. The mass of the female gametes of a frog is called as a spawn. Okay, so both A and B he is asking. Already we have discussed here follicles and option B ostium are wrong. So option D is also the wrong one. So the correct option is spawn. Group of eggs of a frog is called as a spawn, right? Next, coming to the next question. What is the next question? In which of the following organisms does internal fertilization occurs? What is internal fertilization? In the mother's body, female body, the internal fertilization occurs. Okay, so which of the organisms we can observe the internal fertilization? The combination of organisms have been given over here. Option A is bird and fish. Bird lay the eggs and fish also will lay the eggs, but inside the bird we can observe, inside the female bird we can observe the internal fertilization, and coming to fishes, they do undergo the external fertilization process. Here we can observe the internal fertilization, right? So out of these two only one is correct, bird is correct, right? Next, so this option is wrong. And next, coming to option B, snake and frog. Snake undergoes the internal fertilization. Snake is a reptile. It survives on the land and it lays the eggs only on the land. Okay. So frog is an amphibian. It lays the eggs only in the water bodies. Okay. So external fertilization can be done in the water. Only seen in the water. Okay, snake is a reptile. It stays in the water and also on the land. So when it is on the land, it lays. The female snakes will be laying the eggs, and the birds are the arboreal animals. They do construct their nest, and within the nest the female birds will be laying the eggs. And fishes also do undergo the external fertilization. Fishes fishes survive in the water bodies. So within the water bodies, a group of sperms and the eggs will be released, so they can undergo the process of a external fertilization. Okay, so this is also the one of the options are correct. In the sense, one of the organism is internal and one more is the external. So we should not consider even the option B. And next, option C is rabbit and frog. So wherever we observe the option fish and option frog, the option will be wrong. Okay, so both the options must be internal fertilization. The organism must undergo the internal fertilization. So here bird internal, fish external, snake internal, frog external, rabbit internal, and frog is external. Okay, so all these three are the wrong options. And what is the correct option? Snake and the rabbit. These two are given in the single option. Okay, so snake are the snakes are the reptiles, they do lay the eggs on the land, and rabbits are the terrestrial organisms, they do give birth to their young ones only on the land. So option D is the correct one, right? Hope you all understood. See, the pictures are being given over here. The snake, it laid the eggs and taking the parental care. Parental care is taken by the mother snake until the eggs are being hatching. Okay, so immediately after that also even it takes care, but so it must be not eaten by any other organism. So the parental care must be taken by the snake. After the internal fertilization, it lays the eggs. See the figure, it is laying the egg. Okay, so if you just observe very clearly, we can observe here the bulgy structure, the egg is ready to move outside, the snake is ready to lay the egg. And next one is a rabbit. A rabbit gives the birth to young ones. After the internal fertilization inside the mammalian organism, female mammal, it give birth to the young ones. So internal fertilization can be seen in both of these organisms. Which kind of fertilization? Internal fertilization. Right? Next, coming to the next question. Which of the following animal undergoes binary fission? What is binary fission? As you all know that binary fission is one of the mode of asexual mode of the reproduction. So binary fission can be seen in the picture itself indicates this is amoeba. Binary fission in the amoeba. Okay. So this single involvement, single parent will be involved. Here we can observe only single nucleus. And as it is ready to moving to the next stage, the nucleus divides, and as the nucleus divides and the organism is single. But coming to the next stage, you see two organisms are ready to divide, and nuclei we can observe two nuclei. Okay, so the cytoplasm is segregated over here in the complete organism and even here also. And coming to the nucleus in each organism is ready to divide completely, and here we can observe the separate amoeba and separate amoeba, only a bit of adjoining is there. Coming to the next one, complete individuals are being formed. Okay, so this kind of process, division, is called as a binary fission. Fission is nothing but splitting, only single parent involves here. So what is the example here? Hydra, yeast, amoeba or a frog. Okay, in the hydra, as we know, it undergoes budding process. No division, we can observe the bud will be developing from the any part of the parental organism. And coming to yeast, yeast also do undergo the budding process, same as like the hydra. Hydra and yeast undergo the budding mode of asexual reproduction. And coming to amoeba, this is the correct option. Option A is wrong, option B is wrong, and option D is also wrong. Okay, so these are the invertebrates and this is the vertebrates. So here we can observe the sexual mode of reproduction, and here we can observe the one of the mode, asexual mode, is called as a binary fission, right? The correct option is amoeba. Next, what is the next question? Sea stars and other echinoderms can reproduce by regeneration process. What is regeneration? Sea stars are the examples of echinoderms. Echinoderms are the invertebrates. Echinoderms are the invertebrates. So within this, they can reproduce by regeneration. Regeneration is nothing but again. Okay, so here lost part is generating new individual. Lost part in the sense the cut open part, the cutted region we can observe the regeneration, and the splitted part also generates the new individual. The picture indicates over here, here there is a single starfish and here we got a split over here, right? So this is half starfish and this is split of a starfish, okay, so cutted part, and here you see the generation is being observed and this is developing into a new individual. Yes, and even this here also, the last part, splitted small one, contains the regenerated cells, the reproducing cells, and here we can observe the formation of last part, and again here we can observe the new individual, okay, the last part. So here the options are an exact copy of its parent. It might be the exact copy, but how it is producing, right, from the cutted part, okay, so it's not a exact copy. A whole animal develops from a part of the original animal, okay. Here he is asking an exact copy of its parent. From where? The exact copy of its parent is getting from where? From the parental body. Parental body exact copy in the sense single body involves, and it without any damage has to develop into a new one, like for example the hydra, it gives the bud. Yes, and even in the yeast also it gives the, but without any damaging, they are undergoing the amoeba undergoes the binary fission process, single parent will be dividing, and even here the budding process can be seen in the hydra without any damaging. But coming to the regeneration process, here the damaged part, damage in the sense cut region, okay, so as the organism is splitting into two, this organism develop into new one, and even this split will also be developing into a new one. So option B, a whole animal develops from a part of the original animal. Whole organism is being developed from part of the original animal, part of the, this is a single part, but from this we are observing the development of the lost part, okay. So this option B is the correct one. And option, coming to option C, when an animal develops from an egg, it's completely a asexual mode of reproduction. So why will get egg? Egg is the female gamete. There is no chance of involvement of the gamete in the asexual reproduction in the regeneration process. It's completely a asexual mode of reproduction. So option C is wrong because they mentioned here the word egg. No involvement of gametes in the asexual reproduction. All of the above. It's completely wrong. Only option B is the correct option. Next, what is the next question? How many parents are involved in budding and regeneration? Number of parents, as we discussed previously in the C stars, the damaged one, the two damaged parts of the single organism having a capacity to just develop into a new individual. Each lost out part, each damaged part, like for example, this is a starfish. So these organs, this part is being cutted off, okay. So this will be developing into a new one and this will be developing into a new one, okay. Completely damaged one will be developing into two individuals. But coming to how many parents are involved in budding, budding can be seen in the hydra and regeneration can be seen in the planaria, okay. So budding, as we know that a single parent, a tiny bump appears on the parent hydra, bump in the sense a swelling region as a bud-like structure can be seen on the part of a parental organism, and next we can observe this develops. Slowly the size will be developing. See the dissimilarities in between first figure and the second figure. Size of the bud is increasing here. And coming to the growing bud. In the first stage we can't observe the tentacles on the hydra, and here we can observe a slight development of the tentacles. And coming to the third figure, the growth of body is seen abundant comparing with the previous ones, and the tentacles are also being developed, formed and ready to develop into a individual like the parent. And here completely we can observe the detachment of the baby hydra. Nothing but the bud is being detached from the parent. Okay, so how many parents are involved here to form a bud? Only the single parent. Budding in hydra involves only the single parent. And coming to the planaria, example of regeneration, asexual mode of reproduction. Here he gave the example like single organism. Here it got a cut, head got cut, and this is the abdominal region, this is the last region. Okay, so as this, here we can observe the divisions, it is developing, ready to develop, and here we can observe from the head the new individual forms. The dotted structures are indicating that the new individual forms and ultimately forming a new individual, right? And here also the head is not there, sorry, the head is there but the tail is not there. Okay, tail in the sense the abdominal region, abdominal in the sense the lower part, abdomen we should not say, it's a lower part. Okay, so from this lower region, this above region is ready to generate the, sorry, this is not being present. So the region, the bottom region has been is there, but the upper part is not there. Upper part is not there, the lower part is there. Okay, so the lower part is responsible for developing into a new individual. Head is there, lower part is not there, lower part is being developed in the new individual. Below region is there but there is no head region. Above part is completely absent because of the regenerating cells, reproducing cells. We can observe the formation of head. Okay, so here also we can observe the parent is single. So what is the option here? Option B. Option A 0, there is no value. C 2, no. And option D 3 is also wrong. Option B is the correct one. Next, both budding and regeneration produce clones. What is a clone? What is a clone? An exact copy of its parent, similar traits of its parent, exact opposite of its parent, or none of these. Yes, which is the correct option? It's an exact copy of its parent or similar traits of its parent. What are the traits? Traits are the characters. Okay, so traits we should not say. Okay, so physically and morphologically. Morphological in the sense the physical appearance and the genetical appearance, internal appearance, they must be same as like the parent. Physically, the color, the size, the shape, each and everything physical appearance of the bud is similar to that of the parent. And genetically, whatever the parent have, the genes which are present inside the parent hydra also transfers the same kind of genes towards to the baby bud. Nothing but the same kind, exact copy, the morphological, nothing but the physical appearance and the genetical appearance will be similar in both of the regeneration and budding process. Okay, so that is called as a clone, an exact copy of its parent. Okay, option A is the correct one. Similar traits of its parent, no. Exact opposite of its parent. Opposite in the sense, is the hydra producing the planaria? Is the planaria producing the hydra? Or hydra is producing the amoeba or paramecium, something else? The parent is producing of its own own kind, genetically dividing without involving any gametes. Okay, only the genetic material which is present in the organism is helpful for developing into a new one. So exact copy of its parent is the correct option. Option C is wrong and option D is also wrong. Next, what is the next question? When traits are passed from parent to offspring, those traits are, what are traits? Characters. It might be the external characters, morphological, nothing but the physical appearances. So we will be exactly resembling like our parents. Okay, so commonly what kind of characters can be passed from parents to progeny? Okay, so like we can say that the color of the hairs, the texture of the hairs, nothing but it might be the curly hair or a silky hair we can observe, right? And the skin tone also we can observe. Skin tones might be similar sometimes. So what are those traits called as? Okay, so the correct option is inherited traits. Inherited in the sense exactly the genes which are passing from parent to the progeny. Characteristics, no. When traits are passed from parent to offspring is called as a characteristic. It might be water carrying from one parent, one generation to the another generation. Inheritable characters, not only the characters, only characters are being, which kind of characters and how they are being transformed from one generation to another generation, that is called as a heredity. Okay, the characters are being moving from, passing from one generation to another generation is called as a inheritable characters. Are they the similar characters? Not the similar characters. Sometimes it might be dissimilar. Option C is wrong. Are the different characters. Okay, so somehow the other we can observe the same characters, but not exactly all, but some of the characters will be different and similar. Option C and D are also wrong. So what kind of characters those are? The traits which are passing from parent to offspring, those traits are called as inheritable characters. So in detail if we go, what are the inheritable traits? Let us see here. Inherited traits are those traits are passed down. Passed down in the sense coming from one generation to next generation, passing from the parents to their offsprings. Offsprings are nothing but babies or in the next generation. What are been passing? Traits are been passing. Okay. Example like in human beings, eye color. Color in the sense color of the iris, hair color. As I told you previously, the color of the hair also may be passed, and skin tone, skin color also might be similar. Freckles, freckles in the sense group in the sense a mass of the melanin pigment, like moles we can say. A dark patch on the skin are called as a freckles. Same kind, the mole which is seen on the any part of the body of a father or mother, same part, same freckle can be seen on the baby's body also. Okay, dimples. Okay, so this dimples can be seen. Right, so these are the examples of the inherited traits in the human beings. Coming to animals, here we can observe very clearly. In animals, eye color, cat eyes will be different, dog eyes will be different, and their pattern of iris are also will be different. Fur color, okay. So each and every organism's fur color will be completely different. Okay, so the lion's fur color will not get to the rabbits. Okay, and the zebra's color, fur color will not get towards to the elephant baby. Okay, so the animal, the baby animal is getting the traits from its own parent, passing its character from its own parent. Okay, and texture, it might be having much fur or it might be having a smooth skin like penguins and all. Yes, or like a buffaloes and all. Facial shape. So, do all the animals have a same facial shape? Completely wrong. The example like a crocodile's face we can observe some protrusion, right? And a cheetah's face we can observe somewhat resembling like a cat. Yes, and snake will be like a slender one. Okay, exactly like a slender shape of a face we can observe. Here these are the traits which are passing from their parents towards to the offsprings. These are the examples of the inherited traits. So these are nothing but the traits which are passing directly from the parent to the progeny or the offsprings, right? Very good. Next is the matrix matching type questions, MMT. Let us see what is that. What is the question? 38th one is tadpole. Tadpole, out of these options, which is the correct one? Tadpole is the frog larvae, right? And what is the next one? Sperms. Sperms are the male gametes. Option C. Tadpole, option E. Sperm is option C. And ovum is the female gamete, option D. Right? And coming to zygote. Zygote is the process. Zygote which is formed. This is formed after fusion of gametes. After fusion of gametes is nothing but after fertilization, what will be formed? Zygote will be formed. So option B. Yes. And coming to the uterus, what is uterus? Uterus is the place of embryo development. What is embryo? After the zygote, the next stage is called as a embryo. Okay, so the zygote is been formed after the fertilization in the fallopian tube. Yes. Yes. This is the fallopian tube. So either any one of the side we can observe the fertilization process. So here the fertilization occurs, formation of zygote is been seen over here. After the formation of zygote, the zygote will be traveling towards to the uterine wall. Yes, this is the uterus. So here we can observe the implantation. Right? So implantation can be seen of the embryo, right? The embryo can be developed within the place of the uterus. The place of embryo development in the uterus. Option A, right? So once again, the tadpole is the frog larva, option E. Sperm is a male gamete, option C. Ovum is the female gamete, option D. Zygote is the option B, fusion of gametes, and option A is for the 42nd question, uterus. Right? Hope you all understood. Thank you. Right? Hope you all enjoyed the video. So we'll meet in the next video very soon. Thank you so much.